Our team recently sat down with Chris Potestio, a former buyer for Texas-based grocer HEB Central Market. Now a consultant, Chris helps rising brands develop their go-to market strategy. We started by asking Chris to share a little bit about himself and his history in the retail buyer space.
Adult beverage and grocery and CPG. Those three combined is really where my experience has been over kind of the last 15 years. Joining HEB Central Market stores, which is a gold banner in my opinion, is being an operator within the grocery. The company is now, well over 105 plus years old with about 350 stores, and they just really are buttoned up and know how to partner with conventional and rising brands, and are very innovative of looking for the next best thing.
Which retail trends are affecting rising brands most?
As far as trends coming on, I really see it being about a company that is nimble, innovative, and really not doing what a lot of the conventional brands are and historically have been. That maybe goes against the category space they play in. A lot of these companies really want to get into standing out because that's important as a new brand and as your rising brand, that you want to be able to say, well, this is why you got to take a chance on us for us to get to that next size. Everyone can come out of the gates and get through turns 1 and 2. And then coming into turn 3, you start losing a lot of the pack and they start falling off. It's more important now than ever as far as in-store experience, retail theater. Retail's not going away. The retailers and the brick and mortar that's here to stay really have to step up their game. Part of it's e-commerce and the larger space and the growth of that segment of how consumers are shopping. And a lot of it just has to do with younger demographics and generations and their shopping habits. They want engagement. They want it to be always changing so they don't see the same thing time in and time out. And so it's important as a retailer and it's important as a rising brand to be able to partner and understand that you have a more in-depth playbook to be able to partner on those ideas and execution rather than you're just kind of a one-trick pony. As the retail experience changes, the retailers that are learning to be much more nimble is how they partner with the rising brand. Before, it was a little more one-dimensional in the relationship, the buying process, and said, yes, I like your product. We'll bring it in, we'll put it in all of our stores. Now it's down to this makes sense for this region or this banner. We want to play in multiple spaces within our store. What does your support look like to do that? How do we create the in-store experience? Whereas before it was, all right, we can get it on the shelf and let's talk about ad space and maybe some other possible marketing material down the road.
How should a rising brand approach selling into a buyer?
Starts with knowing your category, knowing your product, of course, and really understanding the space you're playing in, and then what retailer really plays within those space. Part of that is, understanding what that retailer is all about. No one wants to be everything to everybody. It's why they have all different banners now and more regionality in the assortment mix and better understanding of the local customer. The brand has to be able to recognize that and do their homework and figure out, hey, look, we've looked at this. This is what our brand's about. Here's our vision as how we see it in the next 5 to 10 years. And that's going to be important to the retailer too, because they're going to see if there's alignment as far as growth together, or is this an in and out, or yes, I don't think this makes sense at all.
Can you give an example from when you were a buyer and a brand did it right?
When you look at products and you want to determine this is a winner, or I'm going to play it safe and I'm going to start with this amount in a few stores instead of rolling it out to all stores. Obviously you're hedging the risk of the company you work for, but part of it is too, you're kind of hedging your own ego. You're always going to have winners and you're going to have just complete dogs and failures. I mean, that's just what happens. If you're not failing at all, that means you're probably not pushing the envelope enough. When I think of something like that and one of my successes, it was a very, very small regional player, one of the first flavored waters out there. And one of the really key aspects of it is that they truly were a rising brand. They had unbelievable product, unbelievable price, unbelievable package. So you had the 3 Ps were there. What they didn't know and didn't have necessarily is, could they keep up? It was a very much more laid back mentality, but I love their story. And it was our chance to kind of launch the product to the market regionally. And so we're able to do that. I wish I had gone bigger up front. And that's probably the kind of the failure part of it. But the best part is, the times when something works so well and you run out, it's a good problem to have. And those problems are far and few compared to, wow, we still have 350 days of inventory on hand. Now we really have to focus on that, and focusing on, I can't believe how fast that flew off the shelf, because really, as a buyer and as a retailer, you're playing in between those two really opposite ends of the spectrum. So you're, again, playing in that middle lane overall, but you also have to include those other ends of the spectrum to ensure that you're kind of maximizing the opportunities for the company you represent.